Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing a lovely Patek Philippe Calatrava. This is the 5227G-010, part of a model family launched at Basel World 2013. It's 39 millimeters in white gold by 9.5 millimeters thick by 46.7 millimeters lug tip to lug tip with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll zoom out, put it on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. You get a good sense of the size of the watch. It's nicely sized. It's not petite like a classic 32 to 35 millimeter dress watch, but nor is it oversized like a lot of the dress watches launched in the 2000s. This is very much a 2010s sensibility and a just right sizing. Let's take one last look down the barrel. I could recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. The watch features a strap that, as you can see, is a Patek Philippe factory strap in brand new condition. It's got calfskin on the bottom. It has pull-tab spring bars so you can remove it from the case without tools. Large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top, high gloss finish. You can see that we have folded edges for the strap, so they're folded rather than sheer cut with a monotone black stitch. And the watch is equipped with a simple spade-style polished white gold pin buckle. A note on Patek white gold: since at least 2006, Patek has used what's known as gray gold. Rolex uses it too, so does Jaeger-LeCoultre. It's a more upscale white gold. An 18-karat straight-through white gold alloy, so if you scratch it, there's just more white material underneath. It never needs to be rhodium plated and has that lovely warmth characteristic of unplated white gold. So this is gray gold, and Patek makes its own cases. So the case is beautifully sculpted with a lovely evacuation and hollowing of the lugs. The lugs beautifully tapered, and then of course we have these hollows that are concave and mirror polished. You can also see that the bezel is all concave and stepped slightly in from the case band, those two features helping to diminish the apparent thickness of the watch. You also appreciate that the caseback hinge, it is a Hunter caseback, the hinge is almost completely hidden as it's been faired into the case profile. Taking a quick look at this caseback, you get the best of both worlds with a solid gold caseback and the value and traditional aesthetic that implies, but then it's also a Hunter caseback that opens up, giving you the ability to appreciate the 324 SC movement. And because the interior is mirror polished, you can see me behind my camera right here, you can actually have engraving or lacquering or enameling done inside the caseback to have the watch personalized. Turning back to the dial for a moment, you can see this is my favorite version of the watch because it has a black lacquered dial, white gold date frame, white gold individual indices, white gold fluted Dauphine style hands. You can see they've been fluted down their center to aid the contrast against the black base. You can also see that the individual indices, they're finished on micrometric diamond tipped milling tools, and they're both shaped and faceted with sharp micro facets to create complex forms that twinkle and glitter like cut gems. The dial is a black lacquer which has a glossy gleam to it and a bottomless depth. And then in good taste, Patek Philippe has used a monotone date disc, so black dial, black date disc with little silver dimple style seconds and minutes readable outboard of the hour indices. Okay, returning to the case back and the movement, caliber 324. It's a long-serving automatic winder, originally introduced in 2006 but upgraded since then. The standout figures are going to be 6-position adjustment, anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, a free-sprung Gyromax style balance, and the Patek Philippe seal, which add up to a factory attestation of accuracy no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per day. It beats at 8 beats per second or 4 hertz, and as you can see, it is an automatic winder with ceramic rotor bearings for efficiency and low maintenance, and then unidirectional winding for greater efficiency on the wrist. Bidirectional winding is identical to unidirectional on a winding machine, but in the real world, unidirectional has been proven to be more efficient. It is a 45-hour power reserve, and Patek Philippe impressively owning the technology along with Rolex and Swatch to make its own silicone hairsprings. The finishing is traditional, a combination of parts that are started by machine process but then finished by hand, and that's really the standard at Patek. AP in general will finish by machine and start by machine. Patek on most of their watches like this will start by machine and finish by hand, which is why you have these lovely rounded mirrored bevels, black polished screw heads with chamfered slot and circumference, satinated rotated wheels. You can see there's circular Côte de Genève across the rotor, engine turning at the center of the rotor as well as on the base plate, linear Côte de Genève laid down by abrasive wheel across the bridges. All the details are handsome, and this movement, though common in Patek Philippe's, is beautiful and accurate. And I should mention, it's worthy of a loupe. So if you buy this watch, to appreciate the full scope of its finish, you should also buy a good loupe. The watch, of course, is 30 meters water resistant, like a dress watch, so don't go swimming with it. But otherwise, it's a surprisingly sporty and versatile look. With a black dial and a white metal case, you can wear this as easily with short sleeves and short pants as with a suit or black tie. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. One more note, the watch does not have hacking seconds, but it does have a date quick set.